What's up, crew? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. Today we're taking a look at a wind-up sprite, little update that I did here. Haven't really messed around with wind-ups a whole lot since the other Link 2 sprite, Elf, got banned, because that was a pretty big part of how I was playing it previously, and so it's been a little while, probably over a year. However, on one of those year-old videos, I received a comment saying that I should figure out how to combo for 5-headed Link Dragon to blow up your opponent's board and 5,000 damage straight to the dome there. And so I did that. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It's a 2-card combo, just Shark plus Magician gets it for you, and I'll show you that at the end of the little deck list here. Now we'll try to keep it short. For the windups, triple Shark, triple Magician, triple Rat. You need 2 of each of them to pull off the combo, so you got to play the max out number on all of them. You got the special summon from the hand and the level manipulation. That becomes valuable because it can trigger your Magician. For the Magician, when it's on the field, if a windup activates its effect, you get a special summon of a windup out of the deck. And for the Rat, if it's an attack position, you can change it to defense position and special summon a windup out of your graveyard. All of these effects are once while this card is face up on the field. That's true for the Cat and the Hunter as well. That's relevant because if you were to use it and then get rid of it and summon a new one, you can use that new one's effect as well. For the Cat and the Hunter, they serve 2 different purposes. The Hunter is your dark type monster that you need for the 5-headed Link Dragon. The Cat is because you also play the Rescue Cat, and if you played the Rescue Cat and summoned 2 rats, which are your only targets at that point, you no longer have access to what is probably the best extra deck play within the archetype with Zen Maintenance, replacing a rat with a new rat to summon again. And so we had to stick the extra beast in there, 1 because it's got that nice bounce effect, and 2 because it doesn't absolutely eliminate the use of your in-archetype extra deck monsters. I suppose the Hunter as well, if you got stopped, would have that effect to rip one out of your opponent's hand, but that's not really what we're playing it for. It's better than the other options. You're also probably looking at this and realizing there's no wind monster here, where the wind monster is going to be in the extra deck. The bat was the only option within the archetype, and its effect is not terrible. The problem is that usually if they get summoned off of an effect, it's a defense position, and so then you can't use the effect anyway, and so I would have rather gotten something in here that's useful, that if you get stopped or whatever, you still have a good effect, versus this, which is a lot harder to play around. Triple Cat because it's a 1-card Zen Maintenance, which can get you into some of your plays depending on what the rest of your hand looks like. Also, these 3 cards are interchangeable with Small World, so it increases the consistency of the deck. For our sprite lineup, we got triple blue, 1 jet, 1 carrot, 1 red. The carrot and red are probably better in the deck just because it doesn't require a level 2 or rank 2, which this half of the deck doesn't really make. These 2 are also very good though. You can play around having them in your hand very easily. You can just summon them early while this is on the board. You can summon them late while this is on the board, and it's been excellent. If you can get your 2-card combo plus, a couple of these, or any of your extenders, you can usually OTK as long as you can go through the whole 5-headed Link Dragon combo to blow up the board. So excellent, love them so far. And then we've got the triple World Legacy World Crown. It's another dark target for your Link Dragon. It summons itself for free to a zone a Link monster points to, and then it also has that quick effect negation ability on there, so if you just left it on the board to protect your own board or whatever, lots of really good things. It fits into the deck really nice. For consistency, we got triple Small World, double Prosperity, double Factory. I think these ratios are pretty good. You could probably go down to the 1 Factory even. In the combo, you could search this in order to have like an additional engine in order to continue to generate resources if you don't win on that turn. I won't show it with that, but you could just stick it in there and do the thing the exact same way, so just keep that in mind. On the bottom row here, triple World Legacy Succession, and the Monster Reborn, I guess, is kind of grouped in with that. It's just special summons out of the graveyard. The Succession requires it to be summoned to a zone a Link monster is pointing to, but even still, the deck is pretty Link heavy, and you can make really big Link monsters in it because of how spammy it is. And so this is just a nice addition there. We can also search it with the libs, so you have like follow-up plays if you wanted to go about playing the deck in that way, so I like it. We've got the 1 Sprite Starter, just goes with the engine, the 1 Foolish Burial, the 1 Called By, and the triple Imperm. There's not really a whole lot of room for hand traps in here because we're just trying to boost consistency to get to that combo. It's a fairly gimmicky deck at this point, but that's the fun of it. In the extra deck, we got the 1 Bahamut Shark. You can make it with your wind-up sharks, the Toad because you can make it with the Bahamut Shark, the Dagusto Phoenix because if you open combo plus a way to get 2 level 2s on board, you can OTK. That's 8k damage right there. Bang, bang. The 1 Gigantic Sprite and the 1 Sprite Sprint, they just fit nicely into the deck with the Sprite engine we got here. The IP, the SP, you can cut the SP for the Nightmare Unicorn because it would be in insane to spend $100 on a card for this sort of a deck. The Lib to search the succession, the Shinobi Insect because you have to have it for the 5-headed Link Dragon Boom. The 1 Zen Maintenance, it's a big combo piece. I would even consider bumping this to 2. I just don't know what I would cut. The 1 Celine because we do play a spellcaster, and so it's fairly easy to get that extra body on board and link up into one of these guys. Although I would say that these 3 are wholly unimportant in the deck. You could replace them with something else if you wanted to. The access code is good. The Zealantis, I just really want to find somewhere that this thing works. Its effect seems so cool, but it just never seems like an optimal choice, so I just shoved it in here because I wanted to. I had the Saryuja in here instead. That's probably still better, but I just really wanted to play around with this. And then for our 5s, that's right, 2 5s. Underworld Goddess and the main man himself, 5-headed Link Dragon. And with that, let me show you this combo. Alright, so as I said, it's a 2-card combo. 1 Shark, 1 Magician gets you all the way there. And I know I said I wasn't going to show you the Wind Up Factory part of this, but I'll just show it to you just to make it all the way complete. And you're probably not going to believe this, but the only non-Wind Up monster you need to go all the way to 5-headed Link Dragon is the Insect Shinobi, so pretty interesting there. So we're going to start off with our normal summon of the Magician. On the normal summon, it'll trigger the Shark. We'll use that Shark effect to special summon itself from the hand, which will then trigger the Magician on the field to special summon a Wind Up from the deck. We're going to grab a Rat. It'll put it in defense mode. Doesn't matter, it's just a target for Zen Maintenance. Now we're going to make that Zen Maintenance using our Magician and our Shark. The Zen Maintenance then on summon can search a Wind Up. So we're going to grab the Factory, and I'll just show you. It doesn't change the combo at all. It's just a little extra step. So we'll activate our Factory. The Zen Maintenance is going to fix our broken toy here. We'll replace the Rat with a new Rat that works. And then that effect activation will trigger the Factory, which is going to search us a Shark. Put it in our hand. We'll grab Shark number 2. We're then going to use our freshly repaired Rat to grab our Magician out of the graveyard. So now that it has left the field and come back, you get that effect again if you were to trigger a Wind Up effect. And guess what? We just did. Shark number 2 is on the board. Magician gets a special summon. And this is insane, and this is why Magician was on the ban list for so long, or at least at 1. It can summon another copy of itself, so we'll summon a new Magician. We then have that second effective Shark. We're going to decrease by 1. I think it does matter. If they haven't stopped you up to this point, they probably aren't going to stop you now, but decreasing by 1 means you still have a 3 and a 4 play here. If you make it up to a 5, you cannot overlay with it anymore. But that level manipulation is an effect activation and will trigger our Wind Up Magician again. And we're going to special summon a Hunter out of the deck. And so now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the required attributes for this summon. We're going to use the Maintenance and the spare Magician to make Shinobi. And there are your 5. And look at this right here. Big Daddy himself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blow up the board. And that's that. Now, just because I mentioned it, there is an OTK that you can pull off with the 5-headed Link Dragon and the Daigusto Phoenix, one of my favorite extra deck monsters of all time. So I will show it to you just for the sake of showing it to you. There's a couple different ways to get to it. You just need to kind of tap into that sprite engine a little bit to get you there. For this instance, we're just going to use the starter as our additional extender, but there's a couple of different ways you can get yourself to that Daigusto Phoenix to bring it home, or really even something else. You can just play around with the extra deck to make sure that you have the stuff you need as consistently as possible. You only need to put another 3K on board, which isn't terribly difficult, and so it's pretty easy to get around that. So we'll run through this same combo here, get ourselves a new Rat. We can save the starter for the end because it's the starter and not one of the monsters, which I just did for ease of explaining this. You could bump this up by more if you wanted to make that simpler to do, but really you end up having to play around which sprite monsters are in your hand because you need to find a way to meet the level or rank versus level or link 2 summoning requirement, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It's pretty easy to get around that. You just kind of have to think ahead on what you're doing to make sure you're meeting the requirements, whatever's in your hand, but this just makes it easier to explain, like I said. So we'll keep going here, straight through the combo. It's the exact same combo, and then at the very end, you would be able to add that extra damage on board, get that Hunter out, get that final piece of the puzzle out here. I never thought Insect Shinobi would be such an important card to me, but here we are. And then right here we got that board wipe with the 5-headed Link Dragon. Boom, 5K, board is empty, sprite starter. grab the blue, grab whichever one you want. If you play the extra starter, I guess you could grab Jet as a follow-up just in case you don't think you got game, but I promise you, 5-headed Link Dragon backed by the King of Kings is going to be game. And because I have so much faith in that, we're going to grab red instead. Red can special summon itself. We can overlay for the Phoenix. Look at that monster right there. Peak male form. But with that double attack, that does it. 5k through the empty board, 1500, and then another 1500 to call a game. And that's that. So just a quick one for you there. Get the juices flowing. If you got any more interesting ideas, send them my way. This kind of stuff is so much fun. It's like solving a puzzle. So definitely any comments, leave them down below. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Come on, guys. I need your support. Join the crew. Happy deck building. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Goodbye.